Hello my good friends, welcome to the channel Digimon Explained. My name is Jesse and in this video we're going to be talking about a popular Digimon that I haven't mentioned, I believe, in all of my videos. Which I admit kind of surprises me because I can't even recall any one of you mentioning that Digimon. I'm talking about Vegiemon, the plant Digimon. I'm really happy that I'll be talking about it because it did make me curious even back then. You never know into what Digimon a certain Digimon is going to digivolve into. That's what we're going to find out in this video, but we are going to start with its rookie form first, which is Floramon, the vegetation Digimon categorized as an unusual Digimon, and with good reason. See, Floramon is a flower. You hear it in its name, and you see it on its appearance. However, when you take into account the family it belongs to, you have two families. First, there is the obvious Jungle Troopers family. Members of this field are generally insectoid or vegetation Digimon, or those who dwell in tropical areas. And it also belongs to the Wind Guardian family. Members of this field are generally avian or flying Digimon, or those who dwell in grassy or lofty areas. Floramon, being a member of the Wind Guardian family, might look a bit weird at first, considering that it is a plant-type Digimon, but this combination will make sense in a moment. Its whole face has the appearance of a flower, and the petal-styled shell usually protects its head like a helmet. But luckily for our vegetation Digimon here, it doesn't need to just rely on its flower helmet. It can generate allergy-inducing pollen from the flowers on both of its arms, which causes anyone who suffers from it, even larger Digimon, to be unable to keep hold of their presence of mind and completely lose their fighting spirit. It can also entangle the opponent in ivy laced with a powerful toxin, completely paralyzing them, the same way Palmon does it. And just in case, we did discuss Palmon in its own video, the link towards it is in the description box. But speaking of Palmon, both Floramon and Palmon are quite related. Not only because they are each other's rivals and use similar techniques, but also because they both are categorized as unusual type of Digimon because they both digivolved like a reptile. And this is very important information. So I just told you that Floramon belongs to both the Jungle Troopers family and the Wind Guardian family, right? This explains why it has two digivolving routes, depending on how much more pronounced the influence of a particular family is. When we take into account the Wind Guardian route, then Floramon will digivolve into Kiwimon. You might find it weird, I also find it weird, but it actually makes sense and I will tell you why. It is said that Floramon digivolved like a reptile and now it became the ancient bird Digimon Kiwimon. Are reptiles and birds related? Well, yes they are. Let me read the following quote. Birds are dinosaurs. Actually, birds and mammals are technically reptiles as they descended from the very first reptile. Birds are more intimately related to dinosaurs as they branched off from a dinosaur. End quote. The dinosaurs birds branched from are the feathered dinosaurs. They would eventually evolve into modern birds. So it makes complete sense that Floramon would digivolve into Kiwimon by awakening what I would love to call dormant genes. And this explains why Kiwimon is not a modern bird Digimon, but rather an ancient bird Digimon and a mythical one too, said to have been overhunted to extinction due to the spread of the internet. For your information, Kiwimon is based on the southern brown kiwi, a flightless bird which can be found in New Zealand. And Kiwimon itself can't fly either. In fact, its wings have completely degenerated, so even if it tried, it wouldn't be able to. While it is unfortunate that it cannot fly as a bird, it does have its own tricks up its sleeves. For example, it can attack by using chibi Kiwimon who are concealed within its body. The irony here is that since chibi Kiwimon's beaks are extremely hard, just like the one of Kiwimon, still their beaks explode when they hit, making it in fact a terrifying technique, and yet, despite being completely charred after exploding, the chibi Kiwimon returns safely. While Kiwimon is an ancient bird Digimon, it still has many similarities with its rookie form Floramon. They both use their shells to protect themselves and they both have plants growing at the back of their heads. For Kiwimon, that might be surprising, but it is the truth. It possesses the makeup of a plant type and is even able to perform photosynthesis with the leaf-like things growing on its head, providing itself with nourishment. So we actually have a unique combination of a bird-type Digimon with vegetation attribute. I'm sorry to say this, but I find it extremely badass. I love how diverse Digimon is. Its ultimate Digivolution to me is, well, probably going to be Deramon, even if I am a bit disappointed with its appearance. Kiwimon is such a masterpiece when you consider the background, and then it turns into this. Anyway, the avian Digimon Deramon would make sense story-wise to be the next form of Kiwimon because, like Kiwimon, it also possesses some of the characteristics of plant Digimon, which explains why there is actual vegetation growing from its back, and it is also not able to fly, which it finds to be mortifying. It does believe itself to be nobility, which explains why its pride is quite high and why it boasts of the crown it wears on its head. That's about it for Deramon. Let us get back to Floramon. Floramon takes the Kiwimon route when the emphasis lies more on its Wind Guardian side. When it goes the Jungle Trooper side, it will become Vegiemon, a carnivorous plant Digimon with long outstretched vines and a wide open mouth. Although it is a fierce and in fact a brutal Digimon that uses the sweet scent it breathes from its mouth to attract small Digimon and its long tentacle-like vines to pull them in, it is unable to stand against larger Digimon due to its lack of offensive power. But that changes though. You see, Vegemon's name comes from vegetables, and vegetables need to go through a process of ripening. And the same goes with Vegiemon. As Vegiemon grows, it will start flowering and eventually bear fruit. It will turn into its true form, RedVegiemon, a strengthened version whose entire body has ripened and turned red, a color serving as a warning of the poison it holds. It is possible that the harsher environments found on the Folder continent caused Vegiemon to take on this original form, but these are just theories. And just a side note, I love how the Digimon universe gave room for mode changes and digivolutions to indicate an important change in the Digimon. With Vegiemon and RedVegiemon, we have a different change, which is simply called ripening. The ripening of a Digimon made it change into a stronger version of itself. That's quite impressive. And maybe an extra side note, it is also possible that Vegiemon becomes Weedmon instead, or Zassomon, a subspecies whose body became completely green instead of red. Unlike Vegiemon, it does not ripen and turn red. In turn, it has obtained the vitality of a weed, allowing it to survive no matter how many times it is cut or beaten. RedVegiemon has high intelligence and offensive abilities, which means that it could face larger Digimon. Its personality has turned even more devious and cunning, and anyone who carelessly tries to take it on, mistaking it for an ordinary Vegiemon, will no doubt meet a terrible fate. When Vegiemon digivolves, it will become the vegetation Digimon Blossomon, a Digimon with the appearance of a giant flower with countless vines as its roots growing from its body. Despite its rather curious appearance, it is very docile on the contrary to RedVegiemon, and due to its personality it rarely appears before others, and on top of that it hates arid regions and always inhabits areas near the water. For a plant, it has an unusually long lifespan, and although the petals around its body or face fall out whenever the seasons change, it has the special ability to grow back new petals. Here is where it gets extremely interesting. As I told you, I love Vegiemon. I think it looks interesting, and RedVegiemon always looked intimidating to me. When I found out who was Vegemon's Mega Level Digimon, I gained a newfound respect for this vegetation Digimon. On top of that, its Mega Level makes complete sense when you take into account the Jungle Troopers and the Wind Guardian family where Floramon belongs to. Anyway, Vegemon's Mega Level is DT Digimon Ceresmon, a monstrous gigantic bird of 400 feet or 122 meters, and is a member of the Olympus 12, a group of 12 mega-level DT and shaman type of Digimon modeled after the Roman versions of the 12 Olympians. Ceresmon is modeled after Ceres, the mythological Roman goddess of agriculture and fertility. Ceres was credited with the discovery of spelt wheat, the yoking of oxen and plowing, the sowing, the protection and nourishing of the young seed, and the gift of agriculture to humankind. Before this, it was said man had subsisted on acorns and wandered without settlement or laws. She had the power to fertilize, multiply and fructify plant and animal seed, and her laws and rights protected all activities of the agricultural cycle. That goddess was digitalized and first took on the form of Ceresmon. I say first because there's another form after it. Ceresmon is a godly and gigantic bird that carries on its back the fruit forest, a forest bearing the digital world's greatest sweets and famous fruits. The unripe fruit from that forest has high concentrations of poison, which Ceresmon can scatter over a wide range, transforming its surroundings into a land of death with that poison upon impact. What's interesting about the poison is that it changes into high quality fertilizer after several days and then is reborn as a fertile land. With a body composed of rocks and rich fertile soil, Ceresmon's soaring form is definitely the epitome of an island floating in the sky. And what it sometimes dares to do when facing an opponent is simply slam its huge body against the opponent, inflicting damage not only from the intense shock wave, but also from the vibrations around the area where it falls. It can also fire a magma bodily fluid from its mouth as an enormous flame shot, and if really pushed, it can use a terrifying technique that couldn't be imagined from its gentle appearance. It can freely manipulate plants and absorb all of the opponent's energy. Sitting on the head of the gigantic Ceresmon is Ceresmon Medium, which serves as its true form, and is an avatar used to convey its will. Ceresmon Medium has practically nil fighting strength and so rarely if ever comes out in public on its own, but it is said that it will occasionally show itself unattended by the monstrous bird to those who earn its trust. Its personality is filled with gentleness and a kind heart, and it is said that it holds out the kindness of its fruit forest to hungry Digimon, and shelters injured Digimon in its forest until they recuperate. However, it will reverse its attitude and bring terror, as if a demonic forest, to those who forget the blessings granted by the forests and land, and unnecessarily injure the trees or pollute the soil. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really gained a newfound respect for Vegiemon. I love his Digivolution line. I love how it began as a Floramon who belongs to the Wind Guardians and Jungle Troopers family, and when we get to the Mega level we first have the giant bird Ceresmon, who can further change into a humanoid vegetation goddess. So Vegiemon, I give the Digimon a 10 out of 10. The fact that I had to bring up Roman mythology, the fact that I had to do research on the link between reptiles and birds, the fact that I had to talk about the ripening process, this is an example of a Digimon that I believe is well thought of, even if you may not think so just by looking at its appearance. I am so impressed that I'm going to stop talking now and just read what you guys have to say in the comment section. Be as elaborate as possible. Did your views on Vegiemon change thanks to this video? Did you also gain a newfound respect? Let me know in the comment section. And in case you guys are new, please make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button to help this channel in its ripening process. And know that all Digimon videos are in different Digimon playlists, which are always updated. That way you can catch up on newer and older videos. Small question, can you do me a solid by following my Instagram page? The name is the following, OhanuJ2. I would need Instagram for large projects, even though I absolutely detest even this platform, but it exists, so might as well make use of it, right?